1. Introduction. Understanding the narcissist's power. Narcissism is a personality trait often associated with an inflated sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy, and the constant need for admiration. In relationships, whether personal or professional, a narcissist's behavior can be deeply destabilizing. They may manipulate situations, gaslight those around them, and demand attention, leaving others feeling drained, confused, and powerless. The narcissist's influence often stretches beyond simple annoyance. It can erode one's sense of self-worth and peace of mind. This raises an essential question. How can you deal with a narcissist without allowing them to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions? The answer lies in a profound yet simple philosophy: Stoicism. By understanding and practicing Stoic principles, individuals can cultivate a resilience that protects them from the emotional chaos narcissists often create. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control the behavior of others, we can control our responses. Through this framework, one can find the strength to maintain inner peace, even in the face of manipulation and emotional turmoil. 2. The Stoic philosophy. An overview. Stoicism, a philosophy that originated in ancient Greece, teaches that virtue and wisdom are the highest goods, and that we should aim to live in harmony with nature and reason. The Stoic worldview focuses on distinguishing between what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, and what lies beyond it, such as other people's behavior or the external world. By focusing on our internal state and accepting external events without emotional upheaval, Stoicism allows us to achieve true peace of mind. Key figures like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca are central to the Stoic tradition. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, is famous for his Meditations, a series of personal writings where he reflects on how to live virtuously despite his power and the chaos around him. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, taught that we should focus only on what is within our control and let go of attachment to things we cannot change. Seneca, the statesman and playwright, offered practical wisdom on dealing with adversity, emphasizing that suffering often stems from our own perceptions and attitudes. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that our emotions are the result of how we interpret events. Therefore, by changing our interpretation and response, we can remain unaffected by external turmoil, including the destructive behavior of narcissists. 3. The narcissist's tactics. How they manipulate narcissists are skilled manipulators, using a variety of tactics to control and undermine those around them. Gaslighting is perhaps whether they are manipulative, deceitful, or demanding. But we can control how we react to them. By understanding that their actions are reflections of their internal struggles and not a reflection of your worth or emotions, you create a mental distance. This shift in perspective is liberating. When you stop taking their behavior personally, it loses its power over you. Practical steps for minimizing a narcissist's influence include reducing contact, especially in emotionally charged situations. Limit conversations to only necessary topics and avoid engaging in debates or conflicts that are designed to provoke you. You might even consider limiting communication through social media or phone calls, focusing instead on more controlled, scheduled interactions. This helps protect your emotional space from being continually invaded. Another key practice is to avoid emotional engagement. Narcissists thrive on eliciting reactions from others, particularly emotional ones. They manipulate situations to get the emotional response they crave, whether that's sympathy, anger, or admiration. By remaining calm and composed, and by not feeding into their manipulations, you deprive them of the fuel they need to assert control. Remind yourself that their behavior is a reflection of their need for validation, not an indication of your worth or feelings. In essence, the first step to reclaiming your mental space is by setting clear, firm boundaries and learning how to disengage emotionally. By practicing these Stoic strategies, you gradually reduce the narcissist's influence on your life and begin to regain control of your own emotional landscape. The second way, disrupting their idealized self-image. Narcissists build their sense of self-worth on a fragile, inflated image of superiority. They create a narrative in which they are always the center of attention, the most important person in the room, and often the victim. This carefully constructed self-image is essential for their sense of power, and they will go to great lengths to preserve it. However, beneath this facade lies deep insecurity, which makes their self-esteem highly dependent on external validation and admiration. Understanding this dynamic is critical when it comes to disrupting their control over you. The Stoic practice of truth-seeking can be a powerful tool in this process. Stoics believe in confronting reality, no matter how uncomfortable, and seeing things as they truly are. For a narcissist, their exaggerated self-image is built whether they are manipulative, deceitful, or demanding. But we can control how we react to them. By understanding that their actions are reflections of their internal struggles and not a reflection of your worth or emotions, you create a mental distance. This shift in perspective is liberating. When you stop taking their behavior personally, it loses its power over you. Practical steps for minimizing a narcissist's influence include reducing contact, especially in emotionally charged situations. Limit conversations to only necessary topics and avoid engaging in debates or conflicts that are designed to provoke you. You might even consider limiting communication through social media or phone calls, focusing instead on more controlled, scheduled interactions. This helps protect your emotional space from being continually invaded. Another key practice is to avoid emotional engagement. Narcissists thrive on eliciting reactions from others, particularly emotional ones. They manipulate situations to get the emotional response they crave, whether that's sympathy, anger, or admiration. By remaining calm and composed, and by not feeding into their manipulations, you deprive them of the fuel they need to assert control. Remind yourself that their behavior is a reflection of their need for validation, not an indication of your worth or feelings. In essence, the first step to reclaiming your mental space is by setting clear, firm boundaries and learning how to disengage emotionally. By practicing these Stoic strategies, you gradually reduce the narcissist's influence on your life and begin to regain control of your own emotional landscape. The second way, disrupting their idealized self-image. Narcissists build their sense of self-worth on a fragile, inflated image of superiority. They create a narrative in which they are always the center of attention, the most important person in the room, and often the victim. This carefully constructed self-image is essential for their sense of power, and they will go to great lengths to preserve it. However, beneath this facade lies deep insecurity, which makes their self-esteem highly dependent on external validation and admiration. Understanding this dynamic is critical when it comes to disrupting their control over you. The Stoic practice of truth-seeking can be a powerful tool in this process. Stoics believe in confronting reality, no matter how uncomfortable, and seeing things as they truly are. For a narcissist, their exaggerated self-image is built on distorted truths, distortions that can be gently questioned and revealed. By calmly challenging their narrative, you force them to confront the cracks in their perception of themselves, which can weaken their hold on you. One method for subtly questioning their inflated self-image is to ask open-ended, non-confrontational questions that prompt them to examine their claims. For example, if a narcissist boasts about an achievement or exaggerates their importance, you could ask, What was the most challenging part of that experience for you? Or how did you handle the feedback from others? These types of questions, when posed without judgment or emotion, can introduce doubt and make the narcissist reconsider the ease or grandeur of their story. Additionally, exposing contradictions in their narrative can further disrupt their sense of superiority. Narcissists often contradict themselves, changing their story depending on the audience or their need for validation. By calmly pointing out these inconsistencies without attacking their character, you encourage them to face the discomfort of their own self-deception. This doesn't require confrontation or aggression, but rather a quiet insistence on truth. As the narcissist begins to question their self-perception, the power dynamic shifts. The illusion they've created is vulnerable, and once they start to see the cracks in their self-image, their grip on those around them weakens. They may become defensive or even double down on their narrative, but in the process, they expose their own insecurities. This shift in perception is not only liberating for you, but also diminishes their influence over your emotions and thoughts. By embracing Stoic principles and subtly challenging a narcissist's inflated self-portrait, you disrupt their ability to maintain control. In doing so, you strip away their power to manipulate, replacing it with a quiet sense of inner strength and clarity. 6. The third way. Withdrawing from their drama. Narcissists thrive on drama and attention. They feed off the chaos they create, constantly pulling others into their emotional whirlpools. Their need for validation is insatiable, and they often generate conflict or stir up drama as a way of keeping themselves in the spotlight. Whether it's creating a crisis, making exaggerated demands, or playing the victim, narcissists will do whatever it takes to remain the focus of attention. For those around them, зрение, этот постоянный цикл эмоционального волнения, может быть утомительным и дезориентированным. This is where the Stoic principle of emotional detachment becomes incredibly valuable. Stoicism teaches that we should not be controlled by external events or the behavior of others. In the face of a narcissist's drama, the Stoic response is to detach emotionally and choose not to engage. By recognizing that their need for chaos is not your responsibility, you reclaim the ability to maintain your inner peace. The Stoic approach to withdrawing from drama doesn't mean abandoning responsibility, but it does involve choosing your battles wisely. Stoicism emphasizes that not everything requires a reaction. Often, the best course of action is simply to not participate in the drama. When a narcissist tries to provoke you into an emotional response, resist the urge to get involved. You can calmly remove yourself from the situation or decline to engage in their theatrics, understanding that doing so is not neglecting your duties, but rather protecting your mental well-being. This act of withdrawal frustrates the narcissist immensely because it deprives them of the attention and validation they crave. Without the emotional engagement they seek, their tactics lose their power. When they realize they can no longer draw you into their emotional turmoil, they are left with nothing but their own self-absorbed drama. And that too eventually begins to lose its grip on you. By practicing this Stoic detachment, you don't just withdraw from drama. You break the cycle of manipulation, maintaining control over your emotional energy and refusing to allow the narcissist's need for attention to dominate your life. 7. The fourth way. Mastering your reactions. One of the most important tools in dealing with a narcissist is mastering your reactions. Narcissists are often expert manipulators, provoking emotional responses to assert control over those around them. The key to resisting their influence lies in learning how to control your emotional reactions, which is where Stoicism shines. Stoic philosophy teaches the concept of apatheia, freedom from passion, and equanimity, which refers to mental calmness and composure, especially in difficult situations. Stoics believe that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we react to them. When a narcissist tries to provoke you, the Stoic approach is to pause, reflect, and then choose your response carefully, rather than reacting impulsively. This helps protect your inner peace and prevents the narcissist from using your emotions against you. A key practice in this is the Stoic idea of pausing before responding. In the face of a narcissist's provocative behavior, take a moment to breathe and collect yourself. This pause allows you to distance yourself from the emotional charge of the situation, giving you time to consider your options. Reacting impulsively to a narcissist's behavior can lead to emotional entanglement, making you vulnerable to manipulation. However, by reflecting on your response, you can choose a course of action that aligns with your values and maintains your calm. When you master your reactions, you stop being an easy target for the narcissist's emotional manipulation. Instead of reacting with anger, frustration, or guilt, you remain composed, which not only protects your peace, but also denies the narcissist the emotional reaction they seek. This forces them to face the emptiness of their manipulation, as their attempts to provoke you are met with detachment, calmness, or even indifference. In essence, mastering your reactions is about reclaiming control over your emotions. By practicing Stoic principles such as apatheia and equanimity, you protect your peace from the narcissist's attempts at disruption. Through this self-control, you weaken their power over you and stop them from manipulating your emotional state. 8. The power of internal peace. How Stoicism transforms you practicing. Stoicism is a powerful way to cultivate inner peace. Stoics focus on what is within their control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, while accepting that external events, including the behavior of others, are beyond our influence. By embracing this mindset, we free ourselves from the constant emotional turmoil that often arises when we try to control or react to others, particularly narcissists. The more you practice Stoic principles, the more you strengthen your inner peace, becoming less susceptible to external disruption. This inner peace leads to emotional freedom. When you no longer allow the actions or manipulations of others to dictate your emotional state, you reclaim your mental clarity. Narcissists, for example, thrive on emotional control. They want to provoke reactions, whether it's guilt, anger, or admiration. However, when you're rooted in Stoic principles, you learn to protect yourself from these emotional triggers. You can observe their behavior without being drawn into their emotional web, maintaining your balance even in challenging situations. The connection between Stoic peace and your ability to withstand narcissistic manipulation is profound. With a clear, calm mind, you can navigate their manipulative tactics without losing your sense of self. You stop seeing their actions as a personal attack and instead view them as reflections of their internal struggles. This mental clarity helps you make thoughtful decisions, set boundaries, and not be swayed by their need for validation. Ultimately, Stoicism transforms you by giving you the tools to remain steady, focused, and emotionally free, no matter the challenges that arise. 9. Practical exercises for applying Stoicism with narcissists. To truly embody Stoic principles in your interactions with narcissists, it's important to integrate them into your daily life. Here are some practical exercises that can help you apply Stoicism effectively. 1. Journaling. One of the most powerful tools for self-reflection is journaling. Write down your thoughts and feelings, particularly after encounters with the narcissist. Reflect on how their actions affected you and how you responded. Over time, this practice helps you recognize patterns in your emotional reactions, allowing you to detach more easily. Use this space to remind yourself that you can control your reactions and choose peace over chaos. 2. Mindfulness. Practice mindfulness to stay present and aware of your emotional state. When interacting with a narcissist, take a moment to center yourself and observe your emotions without judgment. This practice helps you separate your true feelings from the manipulative tactics they might be using, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. 3. Practicing indifference. A key Stoic practice is cultivating indifference to external events that are beyond your control. When a narcissist tries to provoke or manipulate you, practice emotional detachment. This doesn't mean ignoring them completely, but instead choosing not to engage with their drama. By practicing indifference, you create a buffer between their behavior and your emotional response. 4. Building resilience. Develop resilience by incorporating daily Stoic practices such as meditation and contemplation. Spend time each day reflecting on the things within your control and reminding yourself of the impermanence of external events. Consider the teachings of Stoic philosophers, such as the idea that life is full of challenges and that we can learn from them. This practice helps you develop the mental strength to weather narcissistic manipulation without losing your sense of self. By integrating these exercises into your daily routine, you gradually build a Stoic mindset that helps you deal with narcissistic manipulation and remain emotionally unshaken. Over time, these practices will strengthen your inner peace, making you more resilient and less susceptible to the narcissist's attempts to control or undermine you. 10. Conclusion. Taking control of your peace. In dealing with narcissists, Stoicism offers 4 powerful strategies to protect your peace and reclaim control over your life. First, minimize their role by setting clear boundaries and reducing emotional engagement. Second, disrupt their inflated self-image by subtly questioning their narrative and exposing contradictions in their stories. Third, withdraw from their drama by practicing emotional detachment and choosing not to participate in their chaos. Lastly, master your reactions by using Stoic principles like apatheia and equanimity to remain composed, allowing you to choose your responses thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Through these Stoic practices, you affirm the fundamental truth that you have the power to control your mind and emotions, regardless of external circumstances. By embracing these strategies, you no longer have to be at the mercy of a narcissist's manipulation or emotional turmoil. You can maintain inner peace, protect your mental clarity, and thrive in relationships that previously felt overwhelming or draining. I encourage you to begin applying these Stoic lessons in your daily life. Start by setting boundaries, questioning harmful narratives, and practicing emotional detachment. Over time, these small steps will create a profound shift in your ability to manage narcissistic behavior with calm and resilience. Remember, your inner peace is yours to protect and cultivate. Stay committed to this journey and let your dedication to Stoic principles transform your relationships with narcissists as well as your overall well-being.